We're joined by chieftain of the All Progressives Congress in Rivers State, Senator Magnus Abe, in our ongoing coverage right here on News Central Television of the political situation in Rivers State. Senator Abe, thank you very much for your time tonight. Let's start from your departure from the All Progressives Congress before last year's election. What led to this?
You know, the APC in Rivers State had been in a protracted crisis since 2019 or thereabouts that resulted in the party not being at the ballot at that time. And because of the disagreements that we had within the party, it was, let me not use the word difficult, let me use the word impossible for us to be able to resolve those differences. And so some of us decided that it was better for us to go and try the elections from a different platform. And so we left to the SDP to contest on the platform of the SDP. That's actually what happened. After a protracted crisis within the All Progressives Congress in Rivers State. But throughout that time, we maintained our relationship with the APC at the national level. And although those of us who were candidates, who became candidates of the SDP, had to leave to go and contest the election, the bulk of our support base and our members were still members of the All Progressives Congress. So it is only natural that having finished that election cycle, we should return to our party and begin the process of trying to rebuild the party, since the situation that demanded the extreme action that we took is no longer existent within the party.
Well, yesterday you announced at a public forum your return, of course, to the APC, but you said you'll be working with Nyesom Wike, Minister of the FCT, and Tony Okocha, who is the caretaker chairman of the APC in Rivers State. Why did you choose to return to the All Progressives Congress at this time?
That we left the party was because of the way the party was being run in the state by the then leader of the party, the Right Honorable Rotimi Amechi, the former governor of the state, who was the leader of the party. And it was clear that the party was incapable of coming together and performing properly in any contested election. So every effort that was made to bring the party together as a political party under which platform people can actualize their political visions and ambitions was frustrated by the leadership style within the party. And so that was the reason that in 2019, the party had no candidate at the polls because of that kind of leadership and impunity in decision making. And so by 2023, we decided that rather than go through that whole route again, because the leader kept saying that we should go and test our popularity outside the party. And so we decided to take him up on his words, and then we went outside the party to test it.
Rivers State is currently in a political storm that seems to be threatening the development, the unity of Rivers State. What's your view of the ongoing political situation in the state?
You know, I think people are mixing up our own political decision with the current crisis within the People's Democratic Party in Rivers State. We are not members of the PDP. We have not been members of the PDP. But as Rivers people, we cannot deny that we are impacted by the current imbroglio within the state administration, between the legislature and the executive governor of the state. And I have severally, before now, called for discussion and resolution politically, because it does not seem to me like a problem that can be solved by any other means. It's actually a political problem within the PDP, and I think that there are elders and leaders within the PDP who can come together to resolve it. We supported the move by the president to resolve the crisis, and I had thought that that would gain traction, but unfortunately that was not the case. Our coming back to the APC is something that we had announced long before this crisis began, and it's something that we need to do now because the opportunity within the party exists. The former leadership of the APC that made it impossible for us all to work together has given way to a new leadership under Chief Tony Okocha, and so we decided that it's time for us to take advantage of that change in leadership to come back to the party so that we can all join hands with others, including those that have been opposed to us before within the APC. Let's build a united political party that can partake properly in the politics of Rivers State. So the two events are happening at the same time, but they are not in any way related.
Okay. Are you confident that the APC is currently constituted can, in your word, give a fair, a balanced opportunity to everyone? Because there's still issues within the APC at the federal level, national level. Ganduje has his issues in Kano State. At the states, you still have an exco that is still laying claim to being the rightful exco of the APC in Rivers State. So are you confident that all the issues that led you to leave the party will be dealt with?
Well, as far as these issues are concerned, they are not unusual in a political party. It is the nature of the leadership of the party and the kind of resolution skills and the respect for internal conflict resolution mechanisms within the party that will bring rise to a situation where these issues can be properly resolved. I am very, very confident that given that the influence of the former governor will not be so overbearing under the new system, there is every likelihood. There was really no problem within the party. In fact, even while Amechi was the leader of the party, all of us met as members of the party and actually resolved the issues. But when he came back as a leader, he upturned the whole resolution we did and insisted that everybody who did not agree with whatever he had decided should take the highway. So that was why the crisis lingered. There is really no crisis outside of Amechi within the APC in Rivers State. So we are confident that with his influence diminished within the party, a resolution of whatever issues there are is not only feasible, but is very, very likely. It is possible, and we're ready to work together with others to make these things possible. And that's the situation within that. That is the feeling amongst the majority of the leaders of the party, of all factions here in the state, that this presents a new opportunity for us to move forward together. Even those who have been with Amechi are still part of the Tony Okocha decision. So I think everybody is coming together, and we are just coming to join in the mix so that we can move forward.
How close are you to Mr. President Bola Tinubu? And did you play any role in the political collaboration between Wike and Tinubu? Because, I mean, it took people by surprise, the support that Wike gave to the then candidate Tinubu in last year's election.
I was a member of the strategy committee of the president even before the formal announcement of his candidacy. And I worked closely with Mr. President and others. As a member of the strategy committee from Rivers State at that time, I did play a very a positive role in trying to work with the present minister of the FCT to support the candidature of the president. And his own position then made it easy because he was determined that the next president of the country must come from the South. And so the inability of the PDP to respect that convention made it very easy for us to persuade him to listen to us, and his personal admiration for the president also played a role. So it wasn't very difficult. But yes, I contributed to that conversation.
Yesterday, you announced that you will go to work with Nyesom Wike, but I mean, for those who have been following the River State situation, in your time in the All Progressives Congress, then, before you left to the SDP, you all were on the receiving end of political attacks from Nyesom Wike. So, I mean, how come you are becoming a political ally with Nyesom Wike, and how are you able to mend fences with someone who was your political foe some years ago? All right. Okay. We seem to have a bit of a connection interference with Senator Magnus Abe. We'll come back to that conversation because we must get to the bottom and also get to the solution of the political situation in River State. You're watching Politics HQ. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. It's still Politics HQ right here on News Central Television. We still have with us chieftain of the All Progressives Congress and a former governorship candidate in River State, Senator Magnus Abe. Senator Abe, I was asking for your, your reason for mending fences with Nyesom Wike, former governor of River State and minister of the FCT, remembering what those of you in the APC suffered when he was governor.
Well, I don't know by what we suffered when he was governor. He was not with us during the elections, but I have always had a very good relationship with the minister. I was the secretary to government when he was chief of staff to Governor Nyesom, and I was a senator when he was a minister. In fact, when he became a minister, I was one of those who went around with him as a senator from the state to ensure his clearance. So we've always had a very good personal relationship, which we have maintained over the years. Yes, during the elections, we fell out and we fought each other, which we have done before. When I went for Senate, it was against me. When we finished, we resumed our relationship. So it's a political disagreement that we had. And as far as I'm concerned, in the light of his contribution to Mr. President's emergence and the fact that he's been appointed the minister in the APC government from Rivers State in the President's cabinet, it makes no sense for us to continue to disagree when we are both working for Mr. President. So I really don't see why people are surprised that I decided to mend fences with an old friend when we have a common objective and a common agenda. What should have surprised people is if we obstinately refuse to continue to work together, when obviously there are so many benefits that we will derive from. So
are you saying this is about personal interest and not the interest of River State?
And me, River State interest is reflected in the interest of Rivers people. And members of the All Progressives Congress in River State and Rivers people have nothing to gain from a division between me and Nyesom Wike. I don't know why it would be against the interests of Rivers people for a serving minister from my state and major political stakeholders in the president's party to have a relationship. How is that against the interests of Rivers people? All across the state, politicians of all shades and all opinions are coming together in some kind of alliance or the other. If Nyesom Wike and Amechi had reconciled, everybody would have been very happy that leaders are making peace and coming together. Why would people want me and Wike to be enemies? And that would be in the interest of Rivers people. But if we are friends, that is personal interest and not in the interest of Rivers people. I just don't understand the logic that is going on and how people come to these conclusions. So if we decide that we will not quarrel, that is not in the interest of Rivers State. But when we were quarreling, that was in the interest of Rivers State. What kind of logic is that?
So,
distinguished
Senator, bearing in mind the fact that you said you were Chief of Secretary to the Government of Rivers State when Amechi was governor, and Wike was Chief of Staff when Amechi was governor. Now you've extended the olive branch to Nyesom Wike. Will you be willing to also extend the same olive branch to your former principal, Rotimi Chibuka Amechi, who is also still a member of the All Progressives Congress as we speak?
If Rotimi Chibuka Amechi comes out to say he's working for the president and he's supporting the president, why would I be against that? Everybody is welcome to support the president. But the minister of the FCT has come out to say he is supporting the president, and he has not just said it, he's working in the president's cabinet. So I am supporting the president, and it is important that those that are working for the president should work together. We are more effective in support of the president if we work together than if we work separately. So I think that this collaboration, this union, is completely in the interest of Rivers people. And any reasonable Rivers man should be happy to see that Rivers people who are supporting the president are working together. It will bring more benefits to the state, and it will help to stabilize the president's support base in Rivers State. So for you to argue that if I make up with Wike, it is personal interest, but if I quarrel with him, it is in the interest of Rivers State, I really don't know if you're a Christian or not in this kind of argument.
All right, distinguished. Talking about the FCT Minister, what's your opinion on his involvement in the APC in Rivers State and nationally? Bearing in mind that Nyesom Wike is still a card-carrying member of the People's Democratic Party. Matter of fact, he attended the last national meetings that they had in Abuja. So what's your opinion of that view, or that situation, sorry?
Well, this is not the first time in the history of this country that card-carrying members of an opposing political party has been brought into the government. In the time of Obasanjo, people from other parties were brought into the government. That did not stop them from being members of their party, and that also did not stop them from supporting the government. So there is nothing that is happening here that is new. In the NPN government, people from NPP were brought into the government, and they served in the government. So why is it that everything that happens now is being dramatized simply because of the state, because it's Rivers State? There's nothing new in what is happening. There is usually political collaboration in this country across party lines for strategic interest. And that is what is happening right now between the G5 group and the president. And we, as supporters of the president in Rivers State, we need to key into that collaboration and derive all the benefits that we can get from it so that we are able to move forward and build a solid and firm support base for Mr. President in this state.
All right.
So I think that
Senator, you recently
all the hue and
said,
cry is
Senator, you recently said that.
Know that
yes, sorry, Senator. You recently said that Governor Fubara isn't, the political leader of Rivers State. Why so? Some have argued that it is usually taken for granted that the governor of a state will be given that honor of the political leader of Rivers State. But your insinuation was that that may not be the case in Fubara's situation.
Let me say this, Kofi. This whole let me interrupt you there. This whole effort to try to drag some kind of unnecessary misunderstanding between me and my governor is totally unnecessary. I have said clearly that everybody is entitled to their own opinion. But as far as I know, if you go to Lagos, for example, even before Asiwaju became the president of Nigeria, If you had gone to go and tell Sanwo-Olu that he is the leader political leader of Lagos, he probably would tell you no, that he himself has a leader, and his leader is Asiwaju. That's what he would have told you. But that didn't stop him from being the governor. What I simply said, and I want to be quoted correctly, is that political leadership cuts across party. It is earned. It takes time for you to build that kind of stature where you will be regarded as a political leader of a state. It is not by appointment or by election. So if somebody has emerged as the governor of Rivers State, we must give him the respect and the honor that is due to our governor. And I will continue to do that as long as I'm alive. Anybody who is governor of our state, I must honor the person, respect the person, and give the person the support that the person needs if he needs it from me. But to say that somebody is a political leader of this state, it will take time to earn the confidence of key stakeholders across board. It takes time to build that kind of reputation and that kind of image. That's simply all I said. So for people to continue to refer to that as if I said anything derogatory of the governor, it's not right. You know, all I've said simply is that he is the governor of Rivers State. But to say he is a political leader of this state, I don't think even the governor himself has said so anywhere. So why is the fact that I merely pointed this out, which everybody knows to be true in every state, become an issue at this point in time? So please,
Senator,
it's not, it's not an issue at all.
All right.
Yes,
Mr. President's intervention has, in the Rivers political crisis, has been described as merely political and not constitutional. Now, you're a lawyer by background. What's your view of this?
I think that it is clear that it was a political intervention. The parties willingly submitted to that intervention and requested the president's intervention. And as a father to all the parties concerned, he intervened. And what the president did was simply to ask everybody to go back to status quo, go back to status quo ante bellum. That's go back to the situation that you were in before you people started quarreling and try and work together. That's what the president did, which any father would have done to try to stabilize the situation. So it wasn't, he didn't sit as a court, he didn't pass any judgment. The parties came voluntarily and willingly to him to intervene, and he did so in the interest of the state. But whatever solution that is proffered, if the parties themselves are not united in their desire for peace, it will not work. And in this kind of situation, as you have seen, even court judgments have not been able to bring peace. So it is clear that peace is in the minds of those who are involved. It is not in any pronouncement, whether judicial or political. And that's why I have continued to appeal to all those who are involved to come together and give peace a chance. You know, so I believe that the president's intervention was timely, and his request to all the parties to go back to status quo ante bellum was wise and fatherly. And if it is adhered to, I believe that there will still be a headway in this situation.
So what, in your opinion, is the solution to all that's happening? We have a House of Assembly we do not know. We have 2 Houses of Assembly in Rivers State. We have 2 speakers in Rivers State. The State House of Assembly complex was pulled down after being burnt. And if care is not taken, the Assembly quarters will be pulled down. Now, Rivers State doesn't need this. So what, in your opinion, Senator, is the solution to this ongoing crisis?
Kofi, you have already offered a solution. You have said it clearly that Rivers State does not need this crisis. And I do agree with you. Or to profile a solution in a place where even presidential intervention, in your own words, have not achieved the desired result. But what we can do as stakeholders is to continue to point out that as much as possible, peace is priceless, And without sacrifice, leadership without sacrifice is meaningless. If the leaders are not willing to make sacrifices, to give up space so that, others can have something, and everybody insists on having his way 100%, there can be no peace. And like I pointed out earlier, this was the kind of situation we faced within the APC that led to the party not having candidates in 2019 because nobody was prepared to give up an inch and people wanted to conquer other people. I don't think that kind of attitude will foster a situation in which the parties can work together. So I believe that the only thing we can do as people who are not directly involved is to continue to appeal that, common sense, wisdom, humility will prevail and they will be able to find common ground. But for me, I have said clearly that I defected from the Senate, from the PDP on the floor of the Nigerian Senate, and I did not lose my seat. And even just a day before yesterday in Abia State, 2 members of the YPP defected from the YPP to the Labour Congress, to the Labour Party, and they were received by the governor of Abia State. They have not lost their seats. In the last dispensation, just the other day, some senators from Anambra State defected to the All Progressives. They didn't lose their seat. People have been defecting all across this country, and nobody has ever automatically lost their seats. So I still believe that this situation can be resolved by, a mature approach and give and take kind of approach. That's what I believe. That's what I recommend. That's what I advise. But like I've said, it's a problem within the PDP, and it doesn't really concern us that much.
All right. Senator Magnus Abe, thank you so very kindly for your time tonight, and we look forward to having further conversations with you as the situation progresses.
Thank you very much, and Kofi, thank you. You're a Port Harcourt boy, so I believe that you have better intel on some of these situations that we have.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Great to hear from you again.
Thank you very much.
Very much.
Appreciate it.